All right, guys, this is Jacob from Wager Me This, and got a couple different kinds of dice here, so I'm going to do something today. I got $600 here. Today I'm going to do kind of like my toolbox videos, but I'm going to show how I read the table, and I'm going to break it down into specific things, because one of my best talents at craps is reading the table, and this is the first one I'm going to use. I'm going to do a couple of them. The first one I'm going to show you is the most important one, and that's understanding that the changes don't come quickly. Right? It's every now and then you run into a table that you get a 0.7 out, then a 30 roller, then a 0.7 out, then a 20 roller, but it's most likely not usually how it is. For whatever reason, table textures kind of move slowly one way or the other. Either table's cold, table gets hot, shooters change out. There's a lot that goes into it. All right, so let's use these older dice first, right? Because there is a difference in dice being new and old. It seems like older dice will roll longer, it seems like. Which kind of makes sense, okay? So we just walked up to the table. We haven't seen any shots. What do you do? This is actually a bad idea. You shouldn't jump right on the table. First thing first, most places you have craps are going to have multiple tables. Walk around. First of all, find the limits you want to play. Then go and look at the chip racks. That's one of the things I do too. I look at the chip racks, okay? Do you see a table that's full of chips? Because every guy didn't buy in for $1,000, you know? So you're looking at it, and this table's full of chips, and you go over here, and this table hardly has any chips, okay? So either table's fine. It's just indicative of how you want to play. If you have the table that's basically devoid of chips, you want to go over there and play the dark side. You want to play the don'ts. You want to play the lay bets. You want to play for the 7, because obviously most players are light side players. So most players are getting smacked by the 7. So if you see a table that just has guys with just a couple chips and no one with a whole bunch, most likely they're all light side players and they're losing. If you go to the other table and it's full of chips, either someone had a long roll or there's been a couple pretty good rolls. So that's one thing I do too. I look at what tables are there. I look at where I want to be playing, what limits I want to be playing at, and all that. And also, if you're a shooter, obviously you're dictated by where you want to be standing to shoot the dice. But if you're not, if you're just going as a random, all right, just going to go play every person random, you don't care if you shoot or not, right? So first thing I would do is I'd look at the table. Is it a hot table? Is it a cold table? By the chip racks, what the chip racks tell you. All right. Now, of course, that can be a little deceiving, but most likely not. If you see a table and it's full of green chips on everybody's rack, that means that they've had a pretty good run. Not everyone bought in for all those chips. So, and again, like the opposite, if you see one that's hardly any, you know, there's people that bought in for a lot more chips than they have. So, again, so the first thing first, I usually watch a couple shooters go. Even when I get to the table, I watch a couple shooters go. I'm like, and if sometimes they'll kind of pressure you to make a bet, that's fine. I'll throw a minimum bet down on the don't pass usually, if they just want to be kind of pricks. But anyways, I look and I watch, okay, so first thing I'm looking for is what does the shooter do with the dice? Does he just go like this and chunk them down the table? If he does that, great. I love that shooter. Does he grab them, set them on 4-2, 4-2, do some stuff like this and all this, set, you know, really pays attention, looks down the table, gets his hand ready, pulls back, and does this whole number, has a whole thing he does, but then throws it down there and rolls an ace-ace and a 2-1. I'm not going to trust that guy's a good dice controller. Now, if he throws that down there and he rolls a hard 6 and then a hard 10, because it's a hardway set, you know, then I'm like, okay, this guy's probably pretty good at this. And I'm going to read all those things, okay? But still, none of them matter. All them reads are minor reads compared to the main read, which is about to show, okay? So I got our $600 bankroll, and we're not shooting. We're just watching. We're going to let this shooter shoot, all right? We're going to watch 3 shots. He's just a random guy. He's just grabbing the dice and chunks them. All right, so we got ace-ace. Okay, cool. That's 1 shot. Remember, we're not out there yet. We're just watching. We want to see what he's doing. And 11. So that's 2 horn numbers, okay? So that's one thing, okay? Right there. Remember that. That's 2 horn numbers. So that's knocking that horn average down right there. Oh, 3 horn numbers, okay? So now most likely we're just gonna stay away from the horn. We just saw 3 of them. The probability tells us, and probably reading the table and probability go hand in hand. All right, so we just saw all that. So what I'm gonna be thinking is, okay, I just saw 3 numbers all over the place. I'm going to probably bet the 7 here. So what I'm gonna do, after 3 rolls, I'm gonna make a bet. All right, so first thing first, I'm gonna hop these 7s. All right, then I'm gonna get over here. I'm gonna play $50 on the don't, and I'm gonna see what happens, okay? And we got aces. Okay, so that worked out. That's the 4th horn number. That's pretty amazing. We're definitely not worried about the horn numbers now. The only one we haven't seen is 3. So here we go, same thing. And there's a 6, okay? So we still don't know any information yet on table texture. We just know we're not gonna get much more horn numbers, right? So one of the things we want to do here, we know we're fighting the 6, okay? So not ideal. So we're going to play a simpler version of craps, I would say. We're going to place this 5 and 9, okay? So this is playing 7, 5, and 9 as winners, right? We're dodging the 6. We don't want the 6. And we're just looking for texture. And there's the 8, okay? So that's 2 inside numbers. We're not counting all them horn numbers, but we do count them as rolls. So we know we should be close to the 7. And there's another horn number, okay? But we know this 7 should be very close because we've been 7, 8, 9 rolls. And there's a 10. Okay, so at this point, I'm probably pulling one down and hopping the red. All right. And it's because I feel like the 7, by probability, is close. And there's the 7. All right, so that was like 8 or 9 or 10 rolls, I'm not sure. All right, we're gonna lose this. We'll win 75 there, and 50 there. What did we do there that was special? Nothing. We didn't do nothing special. We just played by the pure probability of the game. All right, it was a random shooter. There was nothing controlled about it. He was just grabbing the dice and throwing them. So most likely he's going to throw a 7 between roll 5 and 7, roll 5 and 8. Somewhere in there he's going to roll 7, most likely. All right, it's just the way it works. Okay, so let's grab some new dice. These are brand new bone thrower dice. They're the big dice. They're casino quality dice. All right, so here we go. Same thing here, but this shooter, he comes over here and he puts it on a 3V. So we're going to pull our money off the board because we don't want to be there. Because what does the 3V do? It gets you inside numbers, right? But the 7 is also, you don't see it there, but it's there in the middle. It's an inside number. 7 is also an inside number. All right, so let's just look at on axis what the 3V is, okay? So we'll leave this one stationary. If it rolls this way, get an 8, 7, 5, 6, okay? This one rolls 9, 7, 4, 6. All right, so out of that, there's 2 7s that you should be getting just on a natural throw, right? On an on-axis throw. So there's 7s involved. So here we go. Coming out, we're going to watch this guy for 3 rolls. All right, so we rolled an inside number. This is what we're looking at on this guy. We're looking at how many inside numbers is he rolling? Because when he's setting these dice, this 3V is supposed to roll inside numbers. Is he rolling inside numbers? If he is, then we're going to play him. If he's all over the place, okay, so there's an 8, then a 3. If he's all over the place like this, we're going to play against him because that means that he knows what dice set to use, but he doesn't necessarily have a good way of throwing it. He's not good at it. All right, so here we go. And there's a 6. Okay, so that's 2 out of 3. So we're still feeling him. This is pretty good. Okay, so we saw 3. So what we're going to do, we saw 3, right? We saw 2 inside numbers, the 6 and 8, and then we saw 3. No big deal. So what we're going to do, so we're going to play the inside numbers. Like this. And we're going to get 15 here, 15 here. All right, remember, we saw 3 rolls already, so we're only going to go to roll 6. And then we're going to get off and transition. We're going to make a transition to the 7 as a winner. There's an 11. Okay, so he's about 50%. He's 50% for inside numbers, and that's roll 4. We're only going to roll 6. So this is about reading the table also. We haven't seen this guy throw yet. We're just trusting. Okay, so he's starting to show his colors a little bit. Starting to show that, okay, he's not banging inside numbers. So we saw that. We're going to move this over to the dome. And there's the 9. Good, cool. So that's the 6th roll, right? We got a $30 9. We're going to take these down. I'm going to swap this out, guys. This is 30. $30 don't 9. And we're going to turn this into 2 $18 plays. What we did is we transitioned into a 6, 7, 8 plays from strictly light side. All right, this guy's an inside shooter, so this is not a complete wash, but we're playing the 6 and 8 essentially at this point for $6. Is essentially what we're doing. We're trusting that he will hopefully hit one, being a 3D shooter, and he smacked that 9. Okay. Again, this is part of the table read. The one thing he is controlling out is the 7. We haven't seen the 7, so again, it's early in the read, really early in the read. This is the first shot we've seen by him. So we're going to move to a come progression here with this 3V. That way we are playing the 7 here, at least a little bit, get partial return. Here we go. And we have a 6, perfect. It's going to be 21. So he's really starting to get our attention now. Really starting to get our attention. We're going to bump this one up to 30 because he's staying on the inside numbers. He's not missing them. So we're going to keep our come progression going because this guy isn't missing the inside. He's staying there. Okay, we're going to go to a quarter on the come progression. So we still want the 6 or 8, but the 7, at least we get something back. And this is all part of reading the table. We're not supposed to get a 12. This isn't a 10, guys. This is a 12. Okay, so this is just a negative on the come progression, not a huge deal. We had 25. We're going to go to 30. Maybe we'll get it back with an 11. Here we go. And there's the 8, perfect. It's a point made. It's going to win 35. Great. So we got 30 come, we got 15 and 15. All these are perfect. We can get over here on the pass line. We're going to hop the 7s because all that out there is working. We're working them odds, working everything. So this is part of the read too. This has been a long shot. We don't want the 7 to take us out. Here we go. That is a 2-1-3. Just kind of bad luck there. Not really that concerned with that. Just kind of a bad luck type throw. All right, here we go. We're looking for 6, 7, or 8. And there's the 8 again. Remember, we were working. This is going to win 30. We'll drop back to a quarter come progression. And so, as you can see now, we're just kind of recycling this, and we're trying to keep the 7 out there for as a winner, at least on the come. And because we're trusting that this shooter is moved into the hot zone. So we don't want to get on the dark side, but we don't want to quit playing the 7 either. All right, so there's a 5-5-10. So this works for both things when we're playing this come progression. It allows us to stay on the light side, and it allows us to play the 7 at the same time. That way, if this guy keeps going as well as he is, and there's an 11, so we got the one we lost back. That's nice. All right, so we'll probably go up to 40 on the come regression here because we did collect a quarter. Makes our 7 a little more valuable. All right, again, same thing. We're playing 6, 7, 8, and we got a bonus 10 out there. And this is just the read. This is all table read. This is me saying, okay, this guy's going hot, so I'm going to stay with the come regression. I'm not going to get on the don'ts and put a bunch of don't plays out there. So it's going to be 15 on the bottom and 18 on the top for that 4-2-6. All right. This is going to travel. It's $40. There's not a lot of reason to be adding money to that, in my opinion. You got $40 out there. Remember, you only started with 600. So let's go to a $50 come progression. Remember, they don't have to be double or anything, guys. You can just bump them up just a little at a time. This guy's shooting light side. We're not trying to play the 7 super hard. Okay, so there it is, right there. Perfect. All right. We did lose this, but we won that. So that we won on the back end there with the 7. That was a pretty good shot. And we ended up 100-something bucks. Not bad. All right. So let's move to some different, because these are actual casino dice, all right? The real deal, the bigger dice, good dice, all right? So let's say it's a random shooter again. We're gonna watch 3 times. We got a 7 on the come out, okay. So now we know we have 1 7, so the next 7 should be 6 to 7 rolls away from here. And there's a 10, so that's our 3rd roll, or 2nd roll, I mean. Point's going to be 10, okay? Remember, we just saw controlled shooters shoot well, pretty well. And there's a horn number of 3, okay, so all over the place. 3, 7, 10. That totally tells me that we need to be playing the 7, okay? So first thing first, obviously we want to play a don't, because we want to get a don't bet out there. We're going to lay this 10 for 100, all right? That's our first play. We want to get a piece out there. And there's the 9. Perfect. Because that's going to travel to the 9. We're going to put $75 lay bet on this 9. And a $15 come bet. All right, so we're doing 2 things here. We're playing the 7 and we're playing the 7 on the come. And we have a big old ugly 3, $15 loser, no big deal. Let's go to $20. So it's just a table read. I think this is going to go short. So I don't know if that's roll 5 or roll 6 there. But we got a 6. Okay, so we're going to go up to a quarter. And there's the 8. Okay. So we got 6, 7, and 8 now. We're in great position, right? Our 7 is the 9. So that's cool. That's great. That's where we want to be. Right? That gives us some other options here too. So what we can do is we could say, okay, we got the 6, 7, and 8. So let's start throwing 15 bucks in the field. All right. We're just reading the table. We think it's going to go short. We're happy with the 7 winner. And there's the 7 right there. All right. So that's going to be flat. And then you're going to win 50. All right, here we go. Good little win. 140 or 50 bucks. Shooter went short. All right, so let's say the next shooter pops up, right? So this shooter, let's say he shoots the hard way set, the 4-2-4-2. All right, same thing here. We're going to watch this guy for a couple rolls. We want to see if he's banging hard ways. We're gonna trust that he's going to hit hard ways. We'll get on the hard way set. Oh, so that's a good sign. Hard 6 right at the gate. All right, so that's a good sign for us because we know what we're looking for. We know what we're looking for. Hardway set should generate hardways. It's the idea behind it. It also generates sevens. And there's the 7 right behind it. So he went 0.7. That's actually not unusual for the hardway set. It hits a hardway, then goes a 7, right? So what this is telling me is this table is still pretty cold, right? We had the 1 good shooter, the 3V shooter. So when it comes back to him, we're going to be like, okay, you know, we're going to give him a little more benefit of the doubt. But until then, right? So here's another random shooter. And maybe so we see this random shooter, and you know what? We've been seeing some 7s, this and that. We're going to trust that this is going to be a 7. We're going to play and then we're going to go here to the hops. All right, so if we do roll a 7 here, we make money. If not, we get our don't in. So let's see what happens. And there's the 8. All right, cool. So you kind of pay $15 to get your don't in there. But it's a random, guys. We're not upset with the 8. We're not worried about the 8. Right? We got 50 sitting here. Remember, we jumped out early, so we're gonna put this 30 on the 6. Get some change. And 15 on the come progression. What this does, makes this less risky because we got 50 and 15 on the 7. So as long as we don't roll the 8, we're okay. Of course, there's the 8. Not a huge deal. So now we have the 6 and the 8 out there. Again, we're going to hop the 7s here because we want these working. We're going to work them. And then we're going to put this out here at 75. So I'm actually going to get some more reds, and I'm going to actually hop the 7s for twice. Like that. All right, still a random shooter. Still believe he's going to go short. We don't want to get caught. And there's the 10. All right, so that's a good don't number for us. Now, I know we've paid a little bit to get these numbers, but that's fine. Because now we got a good one, so we're going to load up on odds. We're going to go 150 in odds and start a come progression. Here we go. And there's the 8, okay? Hard 8. This is going to win 15 right here. So we should be getting right at that 7. Let's go up to a quarter. With this random shooter, this should be 7 time. And there's the 4. It's going to travel. Let's jump up to 30. There's the 9. Okay, so we're getting about everything, which is fine. I'm going to jump this up to 40. And there's the 5, so we have everything now. All right. Let's take this 6 down to there. Make it 40. And there's the 4. So this shooter's doing a little different for a random. He's actually going long, right? So this is actually long now. Just drop it down to 25. That way we're making profit, so we're kind of catching our exposure at the same time, if you understand what I mean. So we don't have to keep going up with the come progression because we're winning. We're winning money, so we can just keep replacing the quarter and racking money. So racking money is just like protecting money. It's the same thing. And this is a table read, so now we're going to trust. We're going to let him rock it out. We're going to let him say, all right, dude, go. We're still going to keep this coverage out here. We don't trust him that much, but if he just wants to keep hitting these recycled come bets, we'll let him. All right, let's drop to 30, or go up to 30. We'll just keep letting him hit these ones. And there's the 6, that's the one we don't have, okay? So now you gotta make some choices here. What I normally would do here is I would do a 2-part. I'm gonna hop the 7s, and then I'm gonna go on up to 50 on the come progression. All right, so I'm heavy 7 here, but I got a lot of money out there I'm trying to protect. And there's an 11, so that'll work. These will lose. That's going to win. Replace these. And there's the 6, perfect. This is going to travel. That's going to come down. I'm going to win 30. I'm going to leave 30 out there, collect 30. So I got all them come bets, but we've made money on them. We got a big 7 winner, and there's the 6, so we're just recycling the 6, which is great news for us. Go to 30, just recycling it out. We'll do this all day if they'll let us. And there's our 7, perfect. All right, so we got a bunch of recyclers. We didn't get scared of it. That was one big thing. You can't get scared of it. Just stick with it because, you guys, the 7's coming. 75. But if you get a guy that's recycling bets like that for you, just let him, man. Let that win. Just let it go. Let it rock on. All right. Switch over to the blue dice. We're back to our 3V shooter. All right, 3V time. Here we go. Remember, this guy did good for us last time. Really good for us. All right, so we're going to give him the benefit of the doubt this time. We're going to start out with the $60 6 and 8. And we're going to hop the 7s on the come out. We're going to let him shoot this. If he rolls a 7, we're still okay. But if he rolls that 6 and 8, we're going to be working. We're going to work this bet. All right, we trust this guy a little bit, just a little. We saw him shoot, so he's pretty good. A 12. That's kind of a brutal come out. We're gonna go on back to the hops. You really shouldn't get 12s with the 3V. That means you had one off and one on, but it's not the end of the world. And there's the 6, perfect. Okay, so we're still pretty comfortable with it. So now we're going to use it to build. Let's get some reds. We're not scared of this guy. So we're not really hoping for the 7. We're going to build into the 7. We're going to transition to the 7. That was only the second shot. That was shot number 2, and there's the 5. Okay, perfect. He's doing exactly what we want. He's hitting inside numbers. So that's shot number 3. We're going to bump them both up 1. We're going to rack a little bit of money. Got to get some money out of the game. 3V. So this is all a read. I'm going to go to 6, and then I'm going to transition into the dark side. And there's the 6 right there, point made. Okay, $35 winner. Take that to a quarter. We're actually going to drop this down here. Like this. All right, what does this do for us? It gives us every number on this come out, and we're going to hop these 7s. So we have everything. Remember, we just won a couple times. So if this rolls a 7 here, we still win. Even though everything's working, we'll still be profitable. And there's the 6, all right? Everything's working, remember? Okay, so we have 35 and 14 is 49. We're going to drop $1 for 50. Okay, so first things first, we're going to go through the don't here. We're going to protect it with some hops. Oops. And a come bet. All right, so this is just all protection for this don't bet. In case the 7 rolls, we're going to make money there. All right, we're Remember, we trust this guy, but we don't trust him that much. And there's the 7 right there. All right, perfect. That was a good read on our side. You know, we did like him because he was rolling inside numbers and we made money on those inside numbers. But we didn't like him enough to just trust him without protection. You just can't do that. You just can't trust without protecting yourself. All right, so we ended up racking up some chips on that guy, even with the shakier roll. Not quite as good as the first one. All right, so let's go to a random roll with the bone thrower dice. All right, remember, all these dice are a little different. And it will adjust these results just a little. Not that I know what they'll be, but it will adjust them just a little. And remember, we start with 600, 500, 600, 700, 800. Without playing an actual strategy, we're just kind of feeling our way on the table. That's all we're doing. All right? Random shooter, same thing. We're going to watch him roll a couple times. If we like what we see, we're going to go for it. There's a hard 8. Hard 8. Next shot. And a 5. Okay? So a couple inside numbers. Good sign, good sign. All right? Not necessarily, he's not controlling it. But from a random standpoint, we're like, okay. Pretty good shot. So, yeah, so far we have had a 5, an 8, and an 11. So I like this. I'm going to go hop $25 and don'ts. And I'm actually going to play the 6 and 8 for 18 apiece. Why? Because he's been rolling pretty good numbers. If we roll 7, we'll still win some money. If we roll aces, we'll still win some money because it's going to win there. We'll just leave them hops out there, collect that $10. And the 9, perfect. Okay, so we got a don't 9. Cost us $15 to get a $25 don't 9. We're going to go on and put $75 in odds on it. Random shooter. We trust he's going to go a certain number of rolls, which is not very many. All right, here we go. So we got a little combat out there helping out that 7. Gonna keep us in for the long roll, and there's the 7. Exactly like we thought. No deviation from what we thought. That's why, nothing changes overnight on the craps table. It just doesn't. And that's what we're doing here. We're just showing that you can just trust that the shooters aren't going to go really long. And when they do go really long, you have it built into the way you play, using the come, using the don't come too. Even though you got box number bets, whether it's come bets or place bets, winning here, you always want that 7 cycling in. You always want that 7, and that helps you with the table texture, because then what it does is it takes away from the, oh man, I hope he goes 5 more rolls. It doesn't really matter then. You take away from that. You're just like, you know what? It really doesn't matter what he does. If he goes 5 more box numbers, I make more money. But if he rolls a 7 here, I still make some money. Right? So here we go. Let's say it's another random shooter. And we're still trusting this. This hasn't really moved out of the 6-7 range. So we're still trusting that it's going to go around there. We're going to let him roll a couple times. And we got a 10. All right. Second roll. We have a 6. Okay. 2 box numbers. Third roll. Let's see what we get. A third box number of 5. All right, we like it. So what are we going to do? Same thing as normal. Hop the 7s. Drop 25 over there. Get a 6 and 8 out here. Let's get some whites. Safe. This is safe play. Okay. So this wins 75, right? So you lose 25, 35, 45, 55, 65. So you win just a little bit. All right, on a 7 here. So you're safe. It's a safe play. Hit the 6 or 8, you get it for free. Get the movement for free. And there's the 8. This is what I mean by getting this movement for free, okay? You had 15 here, right? This is going to travel to the 8 for you. But you're going to win 21 here, all right? So even though you lost, you won. I get a $15 come bet out there. We're actually going to play a little bit on that 8. We don't have to play a lot. That's on the odds. Here we go. And there's aces. Aces is not what we want to see. It's okay, man. Jump up to a quarter. Oh. We can take this down or move it over. Sorry, that was my bad. We don't want that there. That's anti-productive, even though we would have just helped us there. Heartache. Okay. So what are we seeing? We're seeing it looks like it's going light side, right? Remember, this is a random shooter. So if you feel like, hey man, this looks like it's going light side, the way to do it to where you still keep the 7 is to let the hops help you. All right, still play your come progressions, $30, right? So you let the hops help you. So this is helping you get into the light side. These are helping you with the 7, and this is helping you with the 7 each roll, and these are working for you. So you get every piece of what you need. And there's the 8 right there, perfect. All right, you're gonna win quarter. Gonna let that sit right there. And we're gonna go to the $40 level. All right, but this time, we're gonna go on and put a quarter over here in the dome. The reason being is because we saw in the other box, and there's the 3. I messed up there. I had both going. I meant to just go like this. All right, that was my fault. And then you hop. All right, and in this case, you might want to even hop a little bigger. That was my fault. I was trying to do 2 things at once. I was trying to do the next step already. All right, here we go. And there's the 8. It's going to travel. It's going to win 30. That's 30 right there. Leave 30. We no longer need to have the hops. This is what I was trying to get to, where we no longer need to have the hops. We're going to go 60 there. We have seen a lot of 8s, and we're going to trust that the random shooter isn't going to keep rolling it. And there's a 6. Okay, 4, 2, 6. He is hot though. For a random, he's very hot. $21 winner there. This is going to travel. Oops. We're going to go to the $40 come progression. We don't have to go this high because we got a pretty good 8 out there, but I'm glad we did. There's the 7. So again, it's still really played the exact same way, right? This is going to win 75 total. We had a little bobble in there, but still, because we knew to keep attacking the 7, it was going to work out in the end. And obviously it did again, right? So this is not a strategy, guys. This is just me reading the table, understanding that it's only going to go so far usually. And using the come to buffer it, all right? The come, this is the best buffer bet in the game, the come is, all right? It's even better than the don't come, for the reasoning being is that the don't come only gets one choice, right? When the come plays, you get the 7 and 11 first, and then it goes to a number. So then if you just add a little money to it, get the 7 and 11 again, and it goes to a number. If it replaces that number, you make money. Where the don't come, it still only wins on the 7, right? So they're very useful. Both of them are, just in very different ways. All right, so let's see where we ended up. Oops, I had $1 left. Okay, so we're just 5 short there. Okay, 400. And that's 900. 976. So we're up $376 from where we started. And we didn't have, there was really never no worry times in there. There was never no times where like, man, if this rolls, we're just going to be crushed. It's not that. It's not that way when you're just trying to read the table and you're just trying to make it work how you want to make it work. And you just trust that shooters are going to do what they're supposed to do. And if they start going long on you, that's fine. That's what the recycling of the come bets is for, right? That's going to help you. That's going to catch that long money. That's going to catch them long rolls. If you keep getting knocked off on your don't play it that way. Just use the come as the 7. Use the hops as the 7. If it's just going long 30, 40 rolls, don't play the don't no more. Just keep using them comes and everything as the 7. So when it does come, you're going to catch a big payday, right? When the hop's there, you don't have to bump the hops up a lot. You know, if you go 75, 5 or 6 rolls, or not 75, 15, 5 or 6 rolls, and then go to 30, 5 or 6 rolls, you know, if it's a long roll is what I'm saying, if it starts going really crazy long. That way, when the 7 does come, you'll have made all this money on these box numbers, and then you'll make it all again on the 7. So, again, this is table texture stuff. This is me saying that tables don't change quickly. This table really never changed. There was 2 okay rolls, and then everything else fell in about that 5, 6, 7 roll range. And that's the natural spot for rolls to land in, right? Natural spot. Even if they're controlled shooters, it's the natural spot. So just don't fight that. There's not a lot of reason to fight that math. But with just using a little bit of strategy there with the come, you don't have to fight the math. You can say, okay, if it goes long, that's fine. I'll be prepared for that. But anyways, guys, this is Jacob from When'd You Be This, and you guys have a great day.